What's up, guys and gals? It's your host with the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys the latest episode review for BLEACH 1000-Year Blood War Arc. Now, right out of the gate, Shinji's BANKAI. Right? We finally got Shinji's BANKAI showcased here. I think a lot of people were expecting a much longer battle, though the thing with, I think Bambietta, is that her name? Anyway, the Sternritter that, Shinji is currently fighting and stuff like that, the bomb specialist, if you will, turn everything into a bomb. She and Shinji sort of have a little bit of a longer sort of, can you deal with my Shikai? Can you deal with my Shikai? Can you deal with my Shikai stuff? And before that, we get this epic, it's definitely done in the CGI thing, but it looks really clean, really crisp, showcasing the BANKAI and the reason why Shinji never used his BANKAI, A, in the fake Karakura Town arc, and B, up until this point. So I really like this. I really like this because a lot of people knew from, subsequent materials and stuff like that, that Shinji's BANKAI, what it was and what it did and why he didn't use it. And now we got to see certain versions of how, okay, if there's enough of a clearance space, if there's a kilometer enough radius or mile radius around, we're good. We're off to the races. We are good to go as far as Shinji's concerned. And I really like the BANKAI. I really like the aesthetic of it. It looked really cool. It was really clean and crisp. This episode also follows Kisuke and Mayuri working together with the whole BANKAI thing. They talk. The first part of the episode really just delves into them talking about, okay, why do Quincy's kill hollows, and why is this and why is that? And they're, of course, they're scientists. They're logical, and they know that fear is not based all the time in an illogical state. Sometimes fear and hatred stemming for generations is based in fear of morality or mortality or any number of reasons. So they sort of do the process of elimination as to A, why the Sternritters did not take the Resurrections, which are basically the equivalent of BANKAIs for a Rancor, and B, why do Quincy's hate hollows so much? And of course, Kisuke being Wakamundo, craziest scientist you've ever want to meet, he develops the method to, of course, not only restore the BANKAI, but make the BANKAIs that are currently stolen as poison to the Sternritters. And I really like that. It works out really well. We get to see Hitsugaya get his BANKAI back and stuff like that. Soifone gets her BANKAI back and, taking out the iron and BG whatever there. I forget what his letter is, but they both get taken out and stuff, but Soifone is still clearly damaged from the encounter, and Hitsugaya is trying his best, like, okay, I did it. Yorimoto's back, I got my BANKAI, fantastic. Now, I gotta go save Matsumoto. I got to clunk, because at the end of the day, remember, Hitsugaya was basically on the floor bleeding out, was half dead when he received his BANKAI, so that was all adrenaline, all running off the fumes, just enough to clear. It was just enough for him to go, okay, full power BANKAI, and the Sternritter, and then boom. Right? And Soifone, I assume, is sort of in the same area there. Komamura does show up, of course. Sajin does show up to face off against Bambietta. I'm pretty sure it's Bambietta. Pretty sure that's who it is. Yeah, either way, Shinji takes over and stuff after showcasing his BANKAI. It's really, really cool and stuff like that. Then, but once again, all of this is pretty much moot by the end of it. It's pretty much moot because as cool as this episode was, as cool as all the fight scenes and all the explanation stuff were, at the end of the day, still, they weren't able to use their Volt standing while possessing a BANKAI. So Yuha is sitting there, Uryu's like, Your Majesty, they took all the BANKAIs back, and now BANKAIs are poisoned to our Sternritters. He's like, do not worry, because you've opened the floodgates. By taking back your precious BANKAIs, you've allowed the Volt standing to have him, basically, and we see the pillars, like 5 or 6 different colored pillars. I love that they're all different colors, by the way. It could have been simplistic by just having them all the bluish white light of Quincy colors, but the fact that they're all multicolored sort of idea, I like it. I really like the aesthetic there. at the end of the episode. So that was really cool. Also, Mr. Superstar is facing down against Ikaku, Hisagi, and Yujiya. So they're all going 3 lieutenants versus 1 stern ritter. I mean, realistically speaking, they've got a decent shot at doing this, especially since we know for a fact Ikaku does have Bankai, and spoiler alert, Hisagi does claim that he himself has a Bankai. So, but before, in the second invasion here, by this point, Hisagi apparently does possess Bankai, and he's made fun of for it later on in the series. So yeah, so that covers all of that. I think the episode flowed really well. It almost felt too short because there's all this crazy action flipping back and forth. Once we got the explanation stuff with Kisuke out of the way, then all of a sudden we jumped to like, all right, here's Hitsugaya, here's, you know, not Renji, Ikaku and them. Here's, you know, Hisagi, here's Shinji and Komamura and all that stuff. So it flowed really well, but it was over really quick. And then the end part of the episode after the credits is Ichigo still walking this path. This is all added, by the way, for the anime, and it's fantastic because we're getting more about what exactly happened. You know, because Ichibei said, great, you got your new Zanpakutos. So now you're back where you were, pretty much. I mean, yeah, you might be stronger, but, you know, you have swords. You cannot take down a god with just, you know, with the power you possess right now. So walk the path sort of idea. And this path, of course, it's the endless staircase from Super Mario 64 and all those idioms and stuff like that. It just keeps going. If you're not prepared, if you're not ready, if you don't understand the lesson, you just keep walking and walking forever. And eventually people get tired. And we see it weighing on even Ichigo. It's getting tired. And it's actually getting heavier. Sort of like carrying the one ring for too long. It's getting heavier on Ichigo at this point. So he's walking forward, and he just, every step is now, but at this point now, before he reaches the Torii Gate at the end, it's flashing memories. And they're really quick. They're like, oh, boom, 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 boom. But what we do see, we see the limbs coming apart. We see the vague image of, you know who, the Soul King. So we might actually get the backstory of what went down with the Soul King by the time Ichigo shows up at the Serite. Would you guys not be fine with if we build up all the way until Ichigo arrives? Would you not be fine with leading up all to that, following the volumes, but leading all the way up to that, and then having like half of the episode just be filler of Ichigo learning a fair chunk of what the Soul King is and what happened to him? Because I think, once again, Thousand Year Blood War arc is Kubo's opportunity while he was very sick and overworked. This time around is his opportunity to sort of set the record straight and do things at his own pace in the way he wanted to do, things he wanted to show. So I wouldn't be remiss if we got, you know, half an episode worth of filler of just Ichigo learning the Soul King through this walk towards the Torii Gate, through the spiritual path, quite literally, towards the Torii Gate, and learning. And remember, the Torii Gate represents the crux, the difference between worlds. Some people say it's between this life and the afterlife. Some people it's the living plane and the dead plane. Some people says it like there's different interpretations, but generally speaking, the Torii Gate is a passageway between worlds, regardless of what you consider the two worlds to be. Sort of like Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. It was never confirmed by Tolkien which two towers he was referring to in that title, and he always hated that title, and he left it ambiguous. But in the same idea, the Torii Gate is usually a divide. It's a barrier, it's a border between planes of existence, between worlds. And the idea here, I just really like the idea of maybe we get a lot more, like 10, 12 minutes in an episode of just Ichigo putting together all these flashes, all these pieces, and getting the gist of it, and we, the viewers, get more of the gist of it. Because so many people have read Can't Fear Your Own World and all the subsequent material and stuff. I personally do not. If Kubo didn't write it and draw it, I'm sort of a stick in the mud when it comes to that stuff, so I take Can't Fear Your Own World stuff with a grain of salt. Even though Kubo has said so, J.K. Rowling also said The Cursed Child is canon, and we all know that nobody in the Harry Potter fan base likes that at all. So, once again, if it's not directly written by Kubo, I'm on the fence until I see it in the anime. So it'd be nice to clear up some of this stuff, and where Kubo had direct involvement, I'd be really looking forward to half a filler episode of just learning more about the lore. Things Kubo probably wanted to show in that arc, and he couldn't. So, anyways, that's my take on the episode, guys. I thought it was a fine episode. Nothing to complain about. Like, comment, and subscribe as always, and we'll see you guys back here next time for episode 17 of the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too, and we'll see you back here next time. Sorry this episode is a day late, but 1 in 100-year storm happened here where I live, and the basement flooded. So was dealing with that all Friday night into Saturday. So yeah, the fact that we're up and running is more than thousands of people around me can say. So either way, thanks guys so much for watching and being patient with me. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Sayonara.